Hey kids, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We're doing something a little bit different today. Got a client that came in with a Les Paul, nice guitar. Excuse me, it's new to him, and he started asking questions about reverse phasing, and there's a couple of different ways to do this. In fact, there's a lot of different ways to do it. He mentioned some research that he did, so I did my own research to try to line up what he wants. So let's get to work, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Now, in my opinion, there's two basic ways to do this. If you have, say, a Seymour Duncan that has, 4 conductor leads coming off of your pickup, you can put a push-pull somewhere. And usually you would take your bridge out, wire a push-pull pot in there to flip it back and forth between out of phase and in phase. Now, what we talk about in phase or out of phase, you want the polarity to be pretty much the same, the way they are when they come from the factory. But there's people out there that, hey, I did this thing. Peter Green is the name that everybody refers to. You will get different tones, all right? This particular way is neck will be neck, bridge will be bridge, and then when you're in the middle, they're opposing each other. So you're playing both pickups and they're opposing each other, and it will give you a thinner, more hollow sound, and you actually have more control by rolling out your volume pot to change those tones. Not the tone pot so much, but a little bit there, but it turns into your volume pot actually starts to blend those out of phase pickups and get you completely different tones. And let's face it, we're always chasing tone. So the first step is I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this particular one, because we're not doing a push-pull. It's a 2-conductor throwback, probably some sort of vintage throwback guitar. It's a modern guitar, but they're old ground sheath 2-conductor pickups, as if it were from back in the 60s or 70s. The first thing you have to do is get this big metal cover off, and there's 2 solder points right here. So we're going to try to undo these solder points, and sometimes they don't like to cooperate, but let's see what happens. Get a good hot solder iron, a little bit of solder for the tip. That's the first part. I'm just tinning my solder tip right now. Let's see. It's tricky to get these undone. Want to kind of, because it's not going to want to come apart easily. So I'm going to do this off camera. You kind of got to use a pick, and some guys make this look super easy, but it's not. It never is. And you want to be mindful not to overheat what you're doing. I'm going to try it one more time on camera before I move to the other one. Get it loose, get it flowing, and kind of try to open it up. Yeah. Sometimes I'll use a sucker. I'm gonna try that. It's never easy. It doesn't just come apart. That's for certain. But if we can get it to get liquid and melted, we can just suck it and pull that glob of solder out. Yeah, it's coming out. I'm going to pause while I get the rest of this out. Sometimes it takes a few minutes. This is the hardest part of the job, believe it or not, is getting that little dollop of solder off of there. I'll be right back. So a combination of heating it up with the solder iron and, believe it or not, an X-Acto knife, and cut the rest of the solder. Be ever so careful. This is the hardest part of the job. And then sometimes there's wax and epoxy holding the rest of it on. And you just kind of ever so carefully work your way around wherever you can see that there's something holding the pickup cover on, right? And then it should just kind of go, gimme, come here you. It's never just easy. There we go. And there's your humbucker, right? Now remember how to put it back. Your screws go in the holes, and then your regular magnets go underneath. So here's the crux of it. I'm going to clean that up before I put it back together. It's all kinds of wax and goop they put in there. So what you got to do is you got to loosen all of the pole pieces here and down here, right? And what we're going to do then is reach in, grab the magnet, and turn it around 180 degrees and slide it back in. You're reversing the polarity on the magnet. You know, I don't know how or why anybody ever thought to do this, but you know, the human condition is sometimes we have too much time on our hands. Don't take the screws all the way out. Just back them up. Just back them up. Different screwdriver. Is it going to fit in there? Probably not. Nope. Stay with the small one. Well, my phone is buzzing at, of course, the most inopportune moment. Something tells me this pickup is going to fight me and fight me and fight me. I can tell that it just doesn't want to unscrew. All we're doing is pulling these pole pieces out enough that we can pull and reach in there and get the magnet out. It'll be a miracle if you guys ever see this video, because it's taken me way longer to do this one than every other one I ever did. Sometimes you can just switch a couple of wires around and reverse the polarity on your pickup, but we don't have that option today. And sometimes you can put in a push-pull switch, which gives you the option to go back and forth a lot, whenever, on the fly, while you're playing. I can tell you, I'm going to harangue my customer for making me do this. It's not what I wanted to do this afternoon. Did that sound dismissive? Yeah, a little bit. I don't like taking pickups apart. I never have. Swapping pickups, monkeying around with electronics, yeah, okay. Switching magnets around, it all seems like mental masturbation to me, but I'm not a guitar player. I play bass guitar. So I have my own tone problems that I have to deal with. Got those loose. Loosen the screws on the back. take this back plate, and again, don't take them all the way out. I'm going to try to do this without taking them all the way out and see if the pickup cooperates. Probably not, because my name is, Len, and things go wrong for me on a regular basis. Push that pickup up, and there's my magnet right there. And what we want to do is reach in, grab the magnet, and hopefully it cooperates and comes right out. And then we're going to turn it around 180 degrees and put it right back in. Just like that. Make sure it goes into where you started from. So that we can put this back down. That's too far. It can only go in one way, and it has to be lined up to get the pickup back together. Just like so. Tighten up the back plate. Right. And I'm not going to show you putting every one of the pull screws back in because they're flathead and it takes me forever, so I don't want to burn up a whole bunch of video time. Make sure your magnet is in position. It is. Everything looks good. Now all we have to do is screw these back in and then reverse operate everything and test it. Right? Stand by. Okay, so where are we? All right, we reversed the magnet, we screwed the back plate back on, and we put our screwed our pull pieces back down. Now we're going to put the cover on, and this is where you want to take a moment and kind of make sure that they're all in the same position. Make sure that your cover is all the way down on there. You can do this after, but just put them back where they came from. You can adjust these later on after you get your entire pickup height set in relation to your strings during setup. But if you have one string that's louder than the other or whatever, that's your pull pieces. You gotta put them back where they belong, right? Now, solder. I'm going to put a little dollop of solder back there to hold everything together. I've taken these covers off many times, not so much for this operation, but getting these little dollops of solder off are always the worst part of this kind of job. Putting them back on is no big deal. You're just going to put a little dollop of solder on there. Get heated up. Get some solder. Tin your tip. And just enough to cover it. It just has to hold it on there. It's no big deal, right? It doesn't need a huge dollop on there. Just enough to hold it in place. It's not like it's going to go anywhere anyway. But oh, that one did not take. Right there. Perfecto. Now, all things being equal, you just reverse the process. Put your pickup back in. And you want to, at this juncture, before you go all the way, just tap test it, right? That's my way of doing things, just to make sure the pickup is working and something didn't go awry while you had it all apart. Neck, right? Oh, I can hear a difference already. So in the all the way the neck position, it's full on, as if nothing happened. But when you're playing both of them together, it drops off a little bit and it's going to get hollower. The tap test won't tell you what it'll really sound like until we get it back in the guitar and actually string it up. But we're going to do that process right now. So stand by while I screw the pickup cover back on, get it placed, kind of clean it up a little bit because it's got wax and goop all over it. And then we're gonna string it up and make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to. All right, so pickup's back in. Successfully reversed the magnet in it, which is going to reverse the polarity. Just clean up your schmutz. There's all kinds of wax and goop down in those pickups that you want to clean up. And now we're ready to restring. Let's get it restrung. He's got some kind of wild ass roller bridge on here that I've never seen, but I've never seen that exact kind. But he put it on himself, and he asked me to check the intonation when he dropped it off, and it was dead on. So I think we're just doing a restring. I think we're just doing a restring. Well, and one other concern that the client had was his tuners, he said, were really, really stiff. So once I took the strings off, all it was they were just too tight. They drove in the tuning key screw on the outside, made it too tight. So I just backed them all off a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's all it's going to need. And restring is the order of the day. Stand by while I finish the restring on it. And we'll be right back. Alright, let's tune it up to pitch and see what we got. Is the closest I think I've ever been with a restring in my whole career. The high E was the only one. Stretch them out. I can't wait to hear what it sounds like. Kind of curious. Was it worth all that trouble? Yeah, it's all there. I'm not going to bore you guys with the setup on this guitar because that's not what this little exercise was about. So, neck, bridge, middle. Oh yeah. And you'll notice when you back off on the volume in the middle, on the neck, it gives you a different tone. And that's what reverse phasing does for you. Pretty interesting. Initially, neck, loud, hot, bridge, hot, middle, but and you've got so much different tonality to booger around with. I'm not going to bore you with setting it up and the neck relief and all that. I'm going to check it off camera for this particular client, but that was my little tirade about going in and taking pickups apart. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But when you have only a 2 terminal pickup, you don't have a lot of choice if you want to reverse polarity. I mean, you can do it the old school way or the lazy way and just put the ground on the pot and the hot wire on the ground, but you're going to have noise. You're going to have a lot of hum and ground noise. If it was a 4 terminal pickup, then you can put a push-pull and be able to switch back and forth and have even that much more versatility. But for what we did, it was pretty simple. It's your Uncle Blackjack with 396 guitars. We'll talk soon. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe.